All right, family. We live on Patreon. Patreon. We live on General SETI YouTube, Sabra Student SETI YouTube. We having a dynamic preview tonight. Mind-blowing megaliths of Africa that defy all human logic. We got a Patreon exclusive preview. We got to talk about the amazing accomplishments of our ancestors. These are our holy of holies, our sacred temples. Too many times we run to, in those areas are also holy to our people. You see, but, we talking about thousands of years before Jerusalem, thousands of years before Mecca. You see, we don't look at Africa, in respects of his ancient traditions and his mind-blowing temples and megaliths, and because we've never been shown these things. And even when we are shown these things, we are taught that they are not African. We somehow we are not African. We everything other than that. We everything is like everybody against Africa. That's really basically what it is. Why is it that all is damn near every ideology want to be anti-African? It's something about that. You see, it's something about that. Don't give a goddamn what ideology out there. The foundation of the ideology is anti-African. Something wrong with that. It's something, the message. You feel me? We got to look at that. And so in my studies, in over 35 years of study, and I've studied global history. You feel me? I didn't study global history. And wherever our peoples is on the planet, there's greatness. No matter where, I don't care if if we got greatness on the continent, extraordinary greatness. The throne of Africa, most definitely the most mind-blowing structures that ever been created on this planet. Don't give a goddamn what. No, show me the receipts. I'm not gonna argue with you. You can't show up with no absent excuse why you ain't got it, why it ain't here. It must not been of grandeur, because if it was of grandeur, it'll still be here. If our ancestors can build pyramids that's been standing for goddamn over 5,000 years, you can't have no excuse. You got to show up. Your technology wasn't advanced enough for it to still be here. And that in itself is proof of our ancestors' greatness. And I know you believe you believe you sprouted up out of a glacier. You believe you sprouted up out of an iceberg. You see, you believe you sprouted up, in some obscure land that don't even, carry the environmental characteristics to create you. But that's in our ignorance that we say these things. And so, tomorrow we're going to have, and I've been, doing a lot of research. I've been tightening things up. So I keep, but I'm ready, and, to give you, the astounding facts that nothing can compare to the greatness of Africa. Let's just do it. I don't want, but you got to have sound proof. You cannot come with an absent excuse. You see, and really, it's just no competition. You see, it's just no competition that the advanced sciences of Africa were far more advanced than any other area on the planet. Motherfuckers is saying that, pyramids in the Americas are older. That nigga, you're lying. Ain't no goddamn way you didn't even have pyramids. Didn't even have pyramids. A pyramid is a triangle. You can't show me nowhere on the goddamn continent. Only in Africa where they produce the true pyramid. That's facts. These niggas can't even be geometrically sound and correct because you know good and goddamn well you can't take a mound into geometry class, and if they say present to me a pyramid in geometry, you bring a mound and think you gonna get you think you gonna pass, you gonna fail on that. And so we don't even want to be geometrically sound in our interpretation of certain structures on the planet. And so we say everything is a pyramid. No, it's not. The true pyramid was only constructed in Africa, and a mound is not a pyramid. Even a step pyramid, what we call the step pyramid, is not a true pyramid. Okay, when we talk about what they call the pyramid of Zosha, which was constructed by the multi-genius Imhotep around 2700 BC, the first stone structure that constructed on the planet Earth. If you got anything older than it's just show and prove. Where it at? You understand what I'm saying? Where it at? You can't have no absent excuse, you know, and they can't come up with nothing. You see, and so even in that, we're talking about the step pyramid. What is called the step pyramid is a multi-level mastodon. That's what it is. You know, where Imhotep stacked the mastodons. But when we talk about the true pyramid, see, we just bringing this one. See, I had to put my work together. You see, I'm just showing you just one of the, and we're gonna have it's gonna end up being 25 megaliths in we probably won't put them all in one. We'll probably put 8 in each presentation. So this is actually a 3-part presentation because we want to give time and clarity to all 25 of the structure. I think it's 24. We're going to put 8 in each one. You see, and so the first 8 is tomorrow. And I'm just saying, I've been to the Giza Plateau 3 times, to see the greatness, for myself. I've been down to old Mecca land, I've been down to old Mecca land. And there is some astounding structures that our African brothers, and you can tell there's no doubt about it, that they sat in the schools of ancient Egypt. There's no doubt about it that they were scholars and students of architectural science and knowledge, that come about the Nile. There's no goddamn doubt about it. So when we say these things, I don't dispute, and I don't, because it speaks for itself, and only a fool will let a fool talk them out of the truth. You see, only a fool will let a fool talk them out of the truth. And so when we talk about this great structure right here, we're talking about the pyramid of Khafra. You see, now people don't even know. If you look at Khafra's name, if you look at Khafra, you can see Africa is in it. Africa. You see, you can see it's in there, in his name. A lot of people don't want to accept that, but it is. It is. It is. It's there. Africa. You see, Khafra. You see, and so when you look that this giant of a king who ruled in the 4th dynasty, he was actually the 3rd king of the 4th dynasty, which is I consider one of the greatest dynasties ever. Some people say the 18th dynasty was the greatest dynasty, but I argue that 4th dynasty, you see, including Zosha, who built the who was in the 3rd dynasty, who was the king that Imhotep built the step pyramid of Saqqara. You see, in Sneferu, when you talk about the first king of the 4th dynasty, Sneferu, who was the father of Khufu, who was the grandfather of this great king right here, Khafra. The megalithic structures that they put is arguably the greatest lineage of kings that ever ruled on the planet. Ever ruled on the planet. You see, and I worship that lineage. Yes, I do. I know that's us. without any doubt. And I can prove it, and I can prove that the lineage, that the Olmec come up out of that same lineage, come up out of the same sacred schools of the Nile Valley. Okay, and so you have to understand that this pyramid has been standing now for over 5,000 years. And do you know that this pyramid right here was the second tallest and largest structure on the planet for close to 4,000 years? It was the second largest, tallest structure on the planet. See the longevity in that. You see the longevity, when you talk about people that hold the belt, they say the Brown Bomber held the heavyweight title for 10 years straight. 10 years, didn't take a loss, 10 years straight. Some of our greats just, 40 straight. I think, it's some boxers that I think Larry Holmes was undefeated for damn near 49. And the people don't, they don't look at, Larry is most definitely, when they talk about the great heavyweight fighters and shit, a lot of people don't look to Larry Holmes. But Larry Holmes went undefeated for damn near 48 fights. 48, 49 fights. He was undefeated. I think Michael Spinks. But when you talk about holding the belt, you see, you talking about holding the belt, where this structure right here, the science, that proves the grandeur of the science. And this is why when they go to this dynasty, they say, God damn it, aliens help these brothers build these pyramids, even though it was the African ingenuity. And people got enough nerve. Well, how in the hell is a mound older than the science? Do you know how long it would take? And you have to understand how many sciences had to come together to even put this together. How many sciences of advanced knowledge and technology had to come together to build it, and they all developed separately from one another. All the they align with the stars, and align with certain constellations, or align with certain galaxies. The masonry, you understand, and you got to understand, this is almost a 40-story. This is a 40-story structure. You see, this is a 40-story structure in almost 3000 BC. And this is crazy that we talking, and people, Egypt, this is the old kingdom, family. This ain't the new kingdom. People would think this would have been in the new kingdom. You got the old kingdom, you got the middle kingdom, and you got the new kingdom. You would think that this type of technology would have been in the new kingdom, but in actuality, this is in the fourth dynasty. This is in the old kingdom. This is in the very beginning of Egypt. That show you right there that Egypt is not the beginning of it. How you gonna be older than Africa? How? Do you know that? Let's be logical. I tell people that when you look at this structure, man, this is over at least 500,000 years of ingenuity. I'm not just gonna say architectural, because you had to develop the cosmological, the astronomical to align it. But these were sciences that were developed separately. How was it that they were able to align these structures to the stars? Certain shafts were aligned to certain constellations, you see? And to be able, and down to and to be able to sail some of these blocks, some of these obelisks, they sail 600-700 miles. So they cut them and carved them. And so, they don't talk about the barges and ships that had been developed just to carry a lot of these, these blocks. So, they don't talk about no other civilization nowhere on the planet has the evidence. I'm not going to argue with nobody. Here it is. You cannot show up with no goddamn absent excuse. If it fell down, that show you wasn't on the same level. If it didn't last, goddamn it, for 4,000, 5,000 years, you're not on the same level. You see, if you ain't got stone blocks that weigh the smallest one weigh 5 tons, and some weigh up to a hundred tons, and you got over 2 million stones on the structure. You ain't on that level, and I'm not gonna let no fool nigga talk me into nothing like that. And you will be a goddamn fool to let some. This is where you teach your baby science and technology. This, you always go to the highest standards of our people on the planet, and the highest level, and that's your standard. You don't go down, and we give honorable mention to all other, but you always put your greatest structures, your greatest achievement as the standard. This is what you aim for, because it's so much technology and science. Not leave the religion alone. You know what I'm saying? Only you don't need a square for a mound, a dirt mound. We talking about what is used today. You need the plumb line, the square, the ruler. You understand? All the compass and all the things that we use in geometry class today, mathematical classes today. This is what you build stone. You don't need that for a damn mound. And we have mounds. Those are us, but I'm showing you that's us. It's still us. And there's some greatness in that. We give honor to that. But we always put the highest achievements at the top. You see, we always put the highest achievement at the top. And you can still see the limestone. At one time, this pyramid had an outer casing of limestone. And you got to understand, all of the pyramids had and believe me, when the sun would hit these pyramids, they would be like lighthouses in the desert. That you could see these pyramids gleaming in the desert for up to 100 miles away. You could see the pyramids gleaming. It would guide you into Egypt. You see what a magnificent structure that we have right here. And it came from the South. It came from the South. When you talk about the pyramids and, the flaws, Sneferu was the pharaoh. This Khafra, his grandfather, Sneferu, built the world's first true pyramid. You see, he built the first, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. We're going to have the top 8. And ain't nothing, is on no continent can any other monument knock any of the top 8. When you talk about what they call it, the world wonders of the world, the 7 wonders of the world. Truly, Africa got the top 7. Really, you really can't even sneak one in. You know what I'm saying? Because really, you can't even knock. When I go down the top like 20, you can't even really get into the top 20 if you consider all the great monuments in the Nile Valley that include Nubia. You can't even get in the top 20. You see, you can't find a Grecian temple better than anything in the top 20 in the Nile. You can't find nothing in not even in India. I'm gonna just be 100. And it's some magnificent Kushite temples. You see what I'm saying? And I honor them and I give praise, and I most definitely, when I do the global Kushite, I put them in there. I don't leave them out. They're a part of our greatness. But ain't no way is nothing that you can, knock out the top 20 in the Nile Valley. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. Including going all the way deep. You got Egypt. When I talk about the Nile Valley, I'm talking about Egypt. I'm talking about Sudan. I'm talking about Ethiopia, even up to Great Zimbabwe. The structure of Great Zimbabwe is also in there. You see in the great megalithic monuments of Africa. And so you can't even there's no way you can go in the world and you can go down a river that long and you can go from one country and go into, now, because Nubia also is full of mind-blowing, and understand this is all in the BC period. Damn, it's all in the BC period. Egypt is all BC. Nubia is damn near all BC. You see? All of that is all BC. So I mean, it's really no comparison in the fact of how ancient it is and how developed the technology and science is at that time. And so Sneferu had the failures. So before he got to the true pyramid, you can see he had failures, and that was in the south. You see, as they coming down the river, you see the development until you get all the way down into Giza, which is furthest north, and you have reached full development. But as you go up the south, you see the failures. They're working towards it. You see, you got Imhotep. He took the greatest leap. Then Sneferu came with the pyramid of Meidum, which he started to fill in the steps of just like Imhotep got. He started to fill in the steps and bring it up to a point and make it into a true pyramid. He failed because the outer casing fell down, and so you see the middle structure, which is like a square, but the outer casing of it failed. He failed. You see, but it's still a legacy there, even the pyramid. And then from there, pyramid of Meidum, he went to the bent pyramid, which was before the red, the true pyramid, the first true pyramid. He had another failure, and so the bent pyramid, I believe, is inclined at 53 degrees, and if he would have kept going, he could see it was cracking. You know what I'm saying? If he would have tried to bring it up on 53 degrees, that the probably it would have fell in. So he cut at about, I believe, 13 stories. He angled it off, and so it gives a look of it being bent. He had to angle it off, and so at the top is like 43. It's like 42, 43 degrees in inclination. So he cut it off from the 53 where he was coming up, and then he went 43 and brought it, and so it make it look bent. You see, and so he came back, and I believe the same inclination he had at the top of the bent pyramid became the inclination of the red pyramid, which became the true pyramid. So you see the flaws, you see the development. Ain't no alien came down, because if an alien came, why would they be making mistakes? Shit, if an alien did it, why would he make mistakes? You see what I'm saying? He was making mistakes. And so you see the development of the pyramids in the south coming down the river, and Sneferu, he figured it out. He handed it to his son, Khufu, who built the largest structure on the planet, handed it to his son, Khafra, who built the next largest, this pyramid right here, and then Menkaure, which is his grandson of Khufu. That's my son's name, Menkaure. You see, and he built which still Menkaure's pyramid still wouldn't have been larger than Sneferu's pyramid. And so with all of this legacy we have, I'm telling y'all, tomorrow, this is just one, and we're going to have 8. We're going to break it down. We're going to break it down. We're going to have 24, the first 8 tomorrow. The link is right there in the video description. I want you to click it. This is advanced knowledge. This is not for you know what I'm saying? Be in class. You want that work? You can get it from the master. You want that work? You can get it from the master. Come with your notebook, and we're going to start having some very advanced classes with the general. I guarantee you, if you take what I'm giving you, if you go to Kemet, man, you're going to be fully developed. You feel me? You're going to be, when you look at everywhere you go, you're going to have a sound understanding, and for many of y'all, an advanced understanding of what you're looking at when you get there. You feel me? So I appreciate y'all coming out. Yeah, say an Arab ain't built nothing but a goat hut. You feel me? I appreciate you. I appreciate you, family, and your donation. Yeah, you already know. Dr. Ben, Walter Williams, Dr. John Henry Clark, Ashaka Musa, Khalid, you see Chancellor John G. Jackson. It's so many. You feel me? It's so many. So yeah, I appreciate y'all being out here today. Click that link. Click that link. We're gonna get down around 2 o'clock tomorrow sharp. You know, I pulled it back a couple times because I wanted to make sure that when I give it to you, that it's amazing. If it ain't amazing, I'm gonna hold it and I'm fully strapped and I'm ready to roll. And I want you in class tomorrow at 2:30. Click that link, advanced scribe. This is for the advanced scribe. You see, make them step up so I can keep the vagabonds out. That's why I have to do that. I can't have the vagabonds in there trying to disrupt what we trying to do. You don't want that. So subscribe, Patreon, and it's still some things down in the lower tiers if that's what you want. You see, if that's what you want, you can go down and it's some amazing stuff. But if you want this tomorrow, make sure you come in at the Master Scribe. If you're already there, then buckle in because it's gonna be a hell of a ride. All right, family. See you tomorrow. Patreon, General SETI. The link is right there in the chat. I'll see you. Arm yourself with knowledge. Bang on that wicked ass beast daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black Power.